I was thinking what I was gonna do today, and before I even get into that, let me just say, hey, hope you all are having a wonderful day. It's kind of like my thing, I want to make sure that anybody who finally gets home or kicks back their feet, or maybe just in their office wanting to be entertained by something, just as the time goes by, you decide to click on one of my videos. I'm gonna be here to try to entertain, whether that be through music, because that's mostly everything I've done, and mostly all my subscribers, I would say, not, well, maybe 98% of them are here because of Alejandro Aranda, or AKA Scary Pool Party from American Idol. Phenomenal, uh, musician. He's definitely a genius. Um, you know, I couldn't give the, young man more props. I mean, you know, it's an example of a prodigy. Um, he practiced for 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 the little bit of time that he got to where he is incredible. Somebody had made the comment, yeah, but he was, practicing, 8, 9 hours a day. There was a time I was practicing 8, 9 hours a day on the guitar, and I never got nowhere, close, not even a fifth of what he could do. And I was practicing that much a day. I was striking chords, trying to come up with my own songs. I didn't know how to read music, and like one of the greatest musicians ever. Love him or hate him. I keep personal shit aside. I don't do gossip on this channel. People kind of know that. I'll mention things that I know are 100% fact, but gossip's not what I do. Um, the one of the most iconic entertainers in our history, Michael Jackson, didn't know how to read music, but he just, when he heard it, he felt the music, and that's what really separates a lot of good entertainers. Some of them, yeah, they know how to write, musical compositions, produce their own beats and all that. Others, they have no problem with the beats being performed or produced for them while they sing. Many a times when you have a ghostwriter in the industry, they're writing the song for you, and then when you get the version and you're going through it and you're singing it, of course you're going to change it up, and that's just ghostwriters in the industry. Everybody does it. Eminem's done it for a ton of people. Um, there's that one girl. Her and her husband were all like acted like shitheads on one of the X Factors, like in another country. I know her husband completely fell off the chart. I don't even know if they're still married, but um, yeah, she barely made a comeback, and she only did so by writing for other entertainers. I mean, everybody has one. So, with him, he doesn't. This dude produces, as far as I know, he writes all his lyrics, as far as I know. And you can tell they're heartfelt. Either he's expressing himself through something that he's experienced firsthand, or something that someone else has experienced, and he kind of lived with that through them. So, through his own eyes, he's experienced, these things. A good example is, Beach House. I don't want to, ruin the, spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. I suggest you go check it out. Um, you know, just because he's never said, or I don't know if he's ever publicly said, hey, I was in this bad car accident, blah, 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 this is what happened, and, that's that. You know, Maybe it was through somebody that he really cared for, and he's just telling their story through his eyes. So, yeah, that's where a lot of my subscribers come from, and I appreciate each and every one of them by, always doing something by Alejandro. Um, I did have a couple of subscribers just mention to me, like, you go through stuff too fast and your channel's just going to die. And it's true, because I only get a few views on the other things. And I did start creating subcategories of things that I wanted to definitely give a try. And, it's slowly but you kind of get up there. Everyone has to start somewhere. I ain't going to go do something stupid or act a fool. The only thing I'm going to do is I mentioned to my subscribers that I'm an actor, and I got my first role in a feature film, and extremely close to filming. So I am, yeah, man, I've been working my ass out, walking day and night. That's a good way to lose weight for anybody out there who's struggling with their weight. Maintain a healthy, balanced, meals. But just remember, there is no secret program that is going to help you lose weight. There is no pills. There are no, you know, there isn't anything, because it's just one secret. Now, to building muscle, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. They're two completely different things. Um, I had a friend who recently passed away who was like, I don't even know, 4% body fat, weighed 280, and built like a statue, man. I mean, this dude was just ripped, huge. Uh, bring up a topic, he sounded like uh, he sounded very uneducated. But if you started talking weightlifting, or if you started talking about weed, this dude was like a fucking Stephen Hawking, Nikola Tesla, like just totally switched on his likes. And he knew, he admitted, the roids and everything, and a lot of these guys are, and I'm not fucking judging them for that. Um, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I was just yapping away, but you know, I I admire what Alejandro has done, just for the simple fact that he does it all. He produces, he writes, he has a lot of input in his videos, how he, really digs visualizations. Um, and coming from the music industry, everybody has their own little niche. Everybody, you know, has something that's their telltale sign. And, you know, for him, me personally, like, I would have to stick to what, what's his name? Lionel Richie said, in the first few notes, it's him. I think that is true, because he does have this unique sound, and his playing ability is unreal, man. I mean, like I said, just fucking blows my mind. Anyways, not gonna do a music video, or not gonna upload a music video first. One of my favorite channels of all of YouTube is called That Chapter. Make sure you and go and show this guy love, because he puts in a lot of work for these videos that he does. I mean, you can tell the dude he's on point. All the work he puts into it. So after watching this, I always say I'm going to put a link in the description, and I completely forget to, and I'm going to try my best not to do that today. I want to put a link to his channel, because this dude deserves millions of people, because of how, I mean, in depth he goes, how much, archival footage he pulls up. Sometimes he does things that are very recently, that aren't, immediately available to the public, but, definitely give him a look out, a look see, subscribe, like to him, like all his videos, I should have said, and subscribe to him, because he definitely deserves it. As for me, I'm humble at that. If you like what I'm, putting out there, like, subscribe. I definitely appreciate that. Mostly everything I do is music, so it's demonetized anyways. And like I said, I'm not doing this for the music, or for the music. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this, because I enjoy music, and I enjoy, connecting with people like that. And just, I want to continue building up my subscribers, so there can come a point where I could, have that dialogue, that back and forth with somebody. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that day. There are a lot of there are millions of people out there, though, so it might take some time, but like I said, I remember what I was talking about. um, with me doing this feature film, do I see this affecting my subscribers? Maybe, maybe a little bit. uh, I got 21 lines, so it's not like I'm gonna be, uh, the front man of this. I have as much lines as God. I forget. Common does. Was it Common? I think it was Common in Suicide Squad. Um, Brad Pitt's first 3 movies, he was just a waiter in the background of a couple of Charlie Sheen movies. I mean, I'm no fucking Brad Pitt whatsoever. Dude's a phenomenal actor. But you always get your chance, and when you get that chance, don't blow it, and that's exactly what I intend to do. So, with this, feature film, and the shoot coming up extremely close, yeah, I'm the first one to film, I believe. I might be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, very, 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 very soon. And of course, it's going to take a while, but when they announce the movies or start putting out trailers, I'll definitely update you guys. So that's enough for me talking for 11 minutes. I didn't realize how much I could yap on. This is going to be a story from that chapter by Mike. Like I said, definitely suggest that you go check him out. Give him a like and subscribe.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, what we are doing today is looking at a crazy story right out of Alabama. I know, right? This story was just about, everywhere, and now it's here. And it happened right when I was on a vacation. So it was a lot of fun to catch up on, and you were seeing the results of that. It's the story of Vicky and Casey. Not married, nor related, though I bet they wish they could have changed that, which part you decide. But they decided to go on a legger together. What happened? Well, let's give it a go. In northern Alabama lies Lauderdale County, to set the scene. Not that it really matters though, because the story doesn't stay there for long. And we're talking about a detention center, which is not exactly indicative of the area, but, well.
You know what I love about this dude is that he does tasteful humor. Now when it comes to actually, when they find something horrific or whatever, he's very respectful. But leading up to that, he does like to talk shit about the people who are doing this stupid ass stuff. And I think that's one of my favorite parts of his channel.
Florence is the county seat, nicknamed Alabama's Renaissance City, and much like its namesake, is along a river, is filled with stunning architecture, deep history, and exquisite cuisine. That seems great. Big thumbs up from you, boy. When I think of Florence, I think of Alabama. Moving on. Located at 635 South Seminary Street is the Lauderdale County Jail. Woo! Besides the Florence Popo Department, and some factories and other shite. It has a capacity of about 200 inmates. But, more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it has the capacity for love. And we will get into that. But first, how about we get into them? At the Lauderdale County Jail, right, the Director of Corrections is a lad named Jason Butler, and the Assistant Director is a woman named Vicky White.
Wow, I had no idea she was the Assistant Director. Wow, that's crazy.
2022, Vicky Sue Davis White was 56 years of age and had been with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office for 25 years and the Department of Corrections for almost 17. By this stage though, she was getting ready to hang it all up, retirement baby, and she was not keeping that news to herself. She was talking about going to Florida, having a little drinky on the beach, all the hits, all the good ones, and she was well liked by everyone. She was described as an exemplary employee. Not anymore. In 2022, she was about to be honored as, this is a mouthful, the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department of Corrections Employee of the Year for a 5th time. Yes, wow. 5 big ones in the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office Department of Corrections. Doesn't get any better than that.
It kind of makes me go back to Ocean's 13. My diamonds.
She had been married once before. In 2002, she married a lad named Tommy White. They had known each other since they were kids. However, the marriage didn't last too long. In 2006, Vicky divorced him, citing his drug use. They would, however, maintain a close relationship, with Tommy actually developing Parkinson's disease, and Vicky would become his kind of partial caregiver. Vicky would remain close friends with him in the, 15 years after they married. He did pass away, though, in January 2022 from complications arising from Parkinson's, and you gotta kind of wonder, even though they hadn't been married for like 15 years, they still remained close friends. Like, they had known each other since they were kids, so you gotta wonder if her ex-husband passing, who she was caring for, affected her, maybe more than she let on. In the 5 weeks leading up to the 29th of April 2022, Vicky had been living with her mother. Living with her mother because she had sold her home, a large, sprawling house with a barn and all, in Lexington, about 30 minutes from Florence. Sold her home for 40% of what it was worth. Less than half in this economy. And so towards the end of April 2022, she had been withdrawing a large amount of cash from banks. She got 90 grand for that house, and she had been, in the process of retiring. Well, she actually just handed in her retirement papers on the 28th of April 2022, but she had been yapping away about it for some time. And she had sold almost everything she had. She also had been shopping for men's clothes and had an adult store. Naughty dog. She also bought an AR-15.
Wow.
And a shotgun.
Wow. Close range, long
And not only that, she bought an orange 2007 Ford Edge under a false name. On the 28th of April, the night before the day of, she had stayed at a Quality Inn hotel in Florence and positioned her new car, the Ford Edge, in the car park of the Florence Square Shopping Centre. And then in the early morning of the 29th of April, she said she locked her keys in her car and called a colleague for a ride to work into the correctional facility the morning of the 29th. So why was she doing all that? Why was she preparing for something? Well, in October 2020, one prisoner was moved to the Lauderdale County Jail just for like a little bit. And his name was Casey White. No relation, by the way, to either Tommy or Vicky, though Casey White and Vicky White did have a special relationship. In 2022, Casey White was 38 years old. Are we sure he's 38? He looks like shit. The criminal history of this almost 7 foot tall, big fucking lumbering gobshite, it goes back.
That's what I love about him, man, is that you watch true crime stories and they're so serious. And, he's not, again, he is not making fun of, well, yeah, he's making fun of these two idiots. But when it comes to actual, like, deaths and all that, his compassion is off the charts.
Back a while. And he was a very dangerous man. By 2012, Casey had already spent 3 years in prison for beating up his brother with an axe, the blunt end. But it really kicked off for him in 2015, when he was 31 years of age. On the night of the 2nd of December 2015, he thought it would be a great idea, a real light bulb moment, if he broke into his ex-girlfriend's house, murdered her dog, and then held her and her 2 roommates hostage. He thought it was such a great idea, he followed up on it, which led him to abandoning the hostages, stealing a car, then attempting to hijack a truck, and failing, and then shooting a woman and attempting to steal her car.
Look, calm down for me, brother. Calm down, all right? Casey, the sheriff will be here in just a minute. Can you put the gun down? Put the gun down, and it's no need in all this. The sheriff... I'm listening. I'm here. I want to talk to you.
He failed in all of this and was arrested, but he was successful in getting convicted and 75 years. So hence why he was incarcerated. Right, but how did he end up in the Lauderdale County Jail? He was already convicted. Shouldn't he be in prison, not jail? Well, he was back in jail because he was now on trial for murder. See, while in prison, he confessed to a murder. Connie Ridgway was, in 2015, 58 years old, a lovely, sweet lady living in Rogersville, roughly 30 minutes east of Florence.
See, that always breaks my heart, man. The elderly or, kids, it's just fucking heartless assholes.
A neighbour, worrying about not having seen her, requested a welfare check, and in the house, the police found her stabbed to death. The murder of Connie Ridgway, it remained unsolved for years, until after, Casey White was convicted for, trying to kill his girlfriend and essentially GTA, the game. Well, he wrote a letter to one of the...
For those of you guys who don't know, or just need a reminder of what he said GTA, the game, like he was trying to go off like that.
Casey White was convicted for, trying to kill his girlfriend and essentially GTA, the game. Well, he wrote a letter to one of the investigators saying he had killed Connie Ridgway and he'd been paid to do it.
Almost 5 years after Connie Ridgway was killed in her home at Meadowland Apartments in Rogersville, a grand jury indicted Casey Cole White on 2 counts of capital murder for her death.
Till June, it had been a whodunit, and we now know who did it.
He later pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, apparently, and that's why he was in jail in the Lauderdale County Detention Center. He was going on trial for that murder, and the authorities felt the trial would not end well for him. A trial scheduled for April 2022, but got bumped to June. And just to mention, just like a little tidbit here of something else in Casey White's history, an ex-girlfriend of his blew a hole in her own chest in Casey's mother's house, and it was ruled a suicide. Yeah, if you can believe that. Now people are doubting if it was a suicide. Duh. On the 1st of February 2008, Christy Shelton was shot in the chest with a sawn-off shotgun inside Casey's mother's house. And he was there at the time. The circumstances are kind of murky, so not exactly sure what happened, but, yeah. And so, it was during an arraignment for Connie Ridgway's murder in October 2020 that he bumped into Vicky White, Assistant Director at the facility. What sprung from that and why they kind of hit it off, no one's exactly sure. Romantic... It seems so, but they definitely had a special little relationship. Like, for example, he would get more food, more privileges, and he was only in that jail in October 2020 for a short time. He was then moved back to his prison, but they stayed in contact, and then he was back in the Lauderdale County Jail again in April 2022. The 29th of April 2022, that day was a Friday. It was the court's busiest day, a lot of shit going on. That morning, after checking out of the Quality Inn Motel at 5:21 a.m, at about 9:30 a.m, Vicky had cleared the detention center of most other deputies with a variety of excuses. And she said that Casey White, he had a mental health evaluation scheduled at the courthouse that morning, and she was a bit of an upset tummy. So after she dropped him off at the courthouse, she was going to go to a doctor's and have a looky-see. She pulled up her car, and in got the big man. Now, police required 2 deputies accompany inmates, but not this time. They left at 9:31 on the dot. And so, as morning faded to afternoon, questions were asked. Where's Vicky? Calls! They went straight to her voicemail. Where's Casey? Shouldn't they be back by now? What time was his mental health evaluation scheduled at? Clackety. Oh shit, he wasn't scheduled to have one that morning. Where'd they go? And so, with a 6-hour head start, together, the cop and the con disappeared. Vicky, the mastermind, Casey, the master manipulator, if I had to guess. And at first, they just disappeared. No one was sure what exactly happened. Was Vicky a hostage? Or was she willing? Pretty soon, it looked like she was pretty willing. And so the hunt began. What I will describe now is what the police were able to put together in the following days. It seems that first they drove together to the Florence Square parking lot and got into Vicky's new Ford, dumping the patrol car. Then they made their way out of town.
We know she participated. Now whether she did that willingly or if she was coerced, threatened somehow to participate in this escape, not really sure.
Vicky White now charged with permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. Friday, she left the Lauderdale County Detention Center with inmate Casey White for a courthouse appearance that authorities now say did not exist. The 56-year-old...
See, the crazy thing is like, she's dealing with, I would say, hundreds of men. I think he said, what, it held 200 people. It sounds like it was he didn't, specify if it was a co-ed jail, one side of it was female, another male. But when you're dealing with hundreds of males a day, like, how is it that one can manipulate you so much that you would throw away however many years she had with law enforcement? It's just, some people just fucking have that power over others. Excuse me for cursing. I'm going to pause right here real quick and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. So I've been, of course, wanting to make sure that everything, that typical Hollywood silver screen stuff was in effect. So I don't know if you noticed, I was like putting my teeth out and all that. And I got this little, now mind you, I'm not, a spokesperson for them at all or whatsoever, but it's this crest whitening emulsion, and then what it does is you leave it on your teeth for half an hour. So I was kind of like doing this the whole time, which was like, God, I feel like a retard. So I paused it because the next thing you do is you use this little thing, and it's LED lights that you keep in your mouth for like then it'll beep and turn off. So yeah, it's quite unique. So I just thought I share that with you guys. I don't know. So anyways, here we go. Back to the story at hand.
Was a 17-year Corrections Department veteran and current jail supervisor who broke department policy transporting Casey White by herself. Authorities say she also claimed she was going to go to the doctor after court, but they found no evidence she went. Friday also set to be her last day after she submitted retirement papers the day before.
Those of us who work with Vicky White and have worked with her for years, this is not the Vicky White we know by any stretch of the imagination.
The escape sparking a nationwide manhunt for the pair, who are not related. According to the sheriff, surveillance video shows Vicky White's patrol car at 9:49 a.m. Friday, 8 minutes after the two left the jail at an intersection that authorities say was not on the way to the courthouse.
There was not enough time for them to even attempt to try to come to the courthouse and then get out there and be at that red light 8 minutes later.
The two reported missing nearly 6 hours later.
The authorities' next lead, as hundreds of tips came in, sightings, all that, the next real lead came a few days later, when a tow truck driver from Tennessee called saying he had towed the Ford Edge they had escaped in. It had been abandoned the same day they escaped, the 29th. Sometime that night, it's understood the car essentially broke down. This was in Bethesda, Williamson County, Tennessee, talking about a 2-hour drive north, a small, unincorporated community. And so from there, where? See, the authorities were afraid. Casey had said multiple times that if he ever got out of prison, he would go after his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, the one he tried to kill. And so they were like, well, now he's out. Maybe he'll follow up on what he said. She actually went into hiding.
Her message to Vicky White right now, if she's alive, she needs to run. Get away from Casey White right now. And this woman understands exactly why law enforcement describes White as armed and extremely dangerous, warning law officers across the country to be very careful because he has nothing to lose.
Casey White is very dangerous. He's dangerous to everybody that is around him. And it's a scary situation.
In prison, he had said if he ever got out, she'd be toast. And he had also said, on the record, he wanted the police to kill him. He wanted to go out in a hail of bullets. And so, when he combined...
I'm sorry, but what a fucking chicken shit for, you know, tormenting and fucking going after
that,
women.
And not only with Vicky's police-issue sidearm, the rifle and the shotgun she bought, well, that ain't great. They also had a lot of money. The 90 grand Vicky had just gotten from selling her house. And Vicky was also known to be quite frugal. She was a great little saver, so money, they could be on the lam for a while.
Complete shock. That's how Vicky White's mother, Pat Davis, describes what's been going through her head ever since her daughter disappeared with accused murderer Casey White Friday morning.
Warrants and rewards were issued for both Casey and Vicky. The next sighting will come on the 3rd of May. They had been on the run for 4 days. Now, this was at a car wash in Evansville, Indiana. Wineback Car Wash. So now, even further, this was 3 hours from Bethesda on the far side of Nashville. It seems they abandoned one vehicle there at that car wash, one purchased in Tennessee for $6 grand after the original broke down, and police found that at the car wash. So it seems they abandoned their second car at the car wash and got into a 3rd car, a stolen car.
No paperwork on it, it's a little bit of trash, and there's a charger and a Glock magazine loader. It's weird.
In fact, Evansville, Indiana, is straight where Vicky and Casey had gone. They were there on the 2nd of May checking into a Motel 41. They paid a homeless guy to do it for them so they wouldn't be spotted. And to get to your motel room, you didn't have to walk through the lobby or anything. You could access it directly from the car park. And so the staff there never spotted them. And so they stayed there for a week and had planned on staying there for another before what happened on the 9th of May. Alright, a patrol officer with the Evansville Police Department, he ran plates on a car he saw parked at the Motel 41. The plates were from the stolen car the couple were now driving, and it matched. The police started staking out the motel, and just after 6 p.m. they saw the...
You know, it makes me wonder, not saying that it's a bad thing or anything, but kind of, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not against cops, I'm just saying it's kind of odd because there's no, well, as far as my knowledge goes, there was no tips, no lead that they were in that area. Maybe he had a description of a vehicle that matched that of a stolen vehicle, so that's probably why. But I've heard too many stories of cops going around, you know, motels and hotels and running plates just for the hell of it. And I mean, I don't know, are they allowed to do that? Or, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I would imagine. But if you're, you know, a guest there and you're parked there legally, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the, you know, the rules or the judge, you know, what kind of, you know, if that's unlawful or lawful. So if you guys do, let me know.
The Whites leave their motel room, get into their car, and drive off. Hot pursuit began. This went on till ultimately they were forced off the road by a police truck just on the outskirts of town. It seems that sometime during that whole kind of police chase and right at the end, Vicky called 911, not exactly too sure why. She never speaks to the operator, but you can hear her and Casey talking. Play.
Amazon Island. 911.
Please stop. They're going to, everybody's going to walk and kill us.
Hello?
John. Airbags are going on. Let's get out and run. Get us back to the hotel.
Hello?
And she's breathing. She got her finger on the trigger. Straight in? Yeah. I don't know how we're getting it right. Oh, he's right here. Right here. We need to clear some of this shit out of the way so we can get out of here. Okay. She shot herself. Davis, you good? You need anything?
Still got it in her hand. I don't know.
Got the gun in her hand?
Yes, got a gun.
All right, watch it.
He's still breathing. I see chest rise.
Okay.
Right here, ready?
Oh,
He's back.
yes.
He's still breathing.
Would it be better if we try to pull the vehicle back? Would it be safer? Let the fire guy stabilize.
So, their car was driven off the road into a ditch and surrounded by cops. Casey White was dragged out, patted over, and booked. Vicky wasn't too keen on facing the music, and so she shot herself in the head in the car. Inside the car were multiple weapons, and about $29,000. That's of the $90,000 they started out with. That didn't last too long. In the motel room, wigs. In fact, it looked like they had stopped there for so long as they thought they were far enough away from Florence and were now plotting their next move. Now, it's obvious why Casey did what he did. It's not so obvious why Vicky did what she did, though. Though when he was arrested, Casey referred to Vicky as his wife. So that'll give you a clue. Though Casey, you know, how into her he really was and how into being free he really was. Which one was it, Casey? You say when? It seems that Casey did actually intend to go out in a hail of bullets. That was the plan for him, to start unloading on the cops and get rid of, but it seems that, you know, when the cops drove their car into the ditch and they crashed, well, that ended, you know, that dream. Anyway, the whole thing was referred to as a jailhouse romance. I hear the doves already. They did fairly well, to be honest. I mean, they should have left Evansville as soon as they abandoned the car, but still, it's not bad for two people whose faces were everywhere. They, well, Vicky had been plotting it for a while, selling all her stuff. A few days before, she had even taken Casey out once again alone for 40 minutes.
God, I can't even find a decent woman, let alone a woman who's gonna sell her house for me. Not that I would ever want that, but my goodness.
A trial run, apparently.
Vicky White took steps on Tuesday before the successful escape on Friday to try a dry run of this escape.
And allegedly the theory the police were going off was that because Casey was so tall, 6'9", he'd get spotted immediately. Big guy. So the theory they were going off was that he would be in a wheelchair while Vicky would push him, you know, in the wheelchair, and she'd be dressed with a wig to make her look like an old woman. So Casey would be sitting down, so he wouldn't be so tall, and he was also dressed as a woman. I mean, that would be funny if it wasn't so. Actually, no, it's still pretty funny. Casey was charged with escape in the first degree, and won't be escaping again. Vicky, it's sad she didn't see any other way out. And I've had to guess Casey was pretty much just using her to try and make a run for it. He seems like the manipulative sort. That's what everybody said about him, as a very dangerous individual. Vicky, maybe, you know, a lonely woman at this stage, probably fell for this manipulator, maybe easily enough.
Hey, did you feel like you might?
Well, who planned your escape?
Did you love Vicky? Did you love
Who planned your
Vicky?
escape? You never met her.
Did you run my freeway?
She must have, to go against everything she worked for and stood for. Described as an exemplary employee her entire life. It's sad it ended in such a way. So Casey, charged with escape in the first degree. I'm sure there are probably other charges related to this, but he still has the upcoming murder trial that he has to stand for, which, by the way, could end up with, you know, death. Try flirting with lethal injection, bucko. Well, that's the story of how Vicky and Casey White went on the run and ran out of time. thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to do so and be here with this guy, back with me. Here, listen, what else? Oh, hope you enjoyed the video on the art of hiring fake human with part 2 coming. Actually, I want to make that kind of a try out more of those kind of videos, which does mean sometimes there might not be 2 videos a week. Sometimes it might just be 1 a week, because I kind of want to experiment a little bit more, and it, you know, takes a little bit of time. So if there's, most of the time there'll nearly always be 2 videos a week, but if there is only 1 video and there's no video on Friday, don't worry, not going anywhere. I'm just, you know, taking a bit of time to try something new. But I'll always be around. So I'll see you as always real soon in the next one. Alright, please, again, look after yourselves, because I love you. Mike out.
Such a cool man. Seems like such a cool young adult. Definitely dig all his videos. If you guys are up for seeing more of these, let me know. Yeah, I hope I start getting some responses. Come on, my subscribers, let me know what's up. Besides, you know, Alejandro is great, but come on, like, share some thoughts with me. Give me some tips. Y'all are too quiet out there. Let me know what's going on, all right? I'd appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. So, yeah, y'all be safe. Have a wonderful day, and I will be right back.